You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 381, Dog and Pony Show Season 6, Episode 4, recorded November 2021, posted January 2023. Ask not for who the Bing Bongs.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a Dungeon Master. This is a special Thanksgiving episode of Curse of Strahd. Is it themed around Thanksgiving? No. Was it recorded in proximity to Thanksgiving? Yeah! It's me, Tony Green Bean Casserole Sindelar, he, him. And today we are playing Curse of Strahd with the Dog and Pony crew, mix it up in Ravenloft. I don't remember what else happens in this adventure. Allow me to introduce the players. They will remind you of their characters, and then I will attempt to remind you of what they're up to. First up, it's Aline Gravy Sims. Hi, Aline.
Wow, I'm not sure what to do with this energy, but I like it. Like, I'm not complaining. I like it.
Yeah, let it just keep it flowing. Yes, and it. Okay, bringing it into my soul. I am Aline Sims. That is not
she, her. I play Imra Soliana, the Wood Elf Ranger, and her trusty pupper, everybody's trusty pupper, Androdite. Pronouns are also she, her, for Imra and Androdite.
Next up, it's Micah, Turkey Sergeant.
I was hoping to be pumpkin pie, but alas, I am wearing a turkey on my head, so it makes sense. I play Elevor Landman, the half-elf druid, as well as Samus, the saber-toothed tiger, and recently introduced to the party, Danu, the octopus. Samus and Danu have she, her pronouns. Elevor and I have he, him pronouns.
Oh, yeah.
I think that covers it.
A moment. Next up, it is Jane, Cranberry Sauce Rit.
Hello, I'm Cranberry Sauce, and I play. No, I'm Jane Ritt, and I play Lena Dulina, the human rogue. We both use she/her pronouns.
Also joining us, it's Erica, Mac and Cheese Ensign.
Why would you pick mac and cheese? It's two things I can't eat. Gluten and dairy. It's my nemesis.
You know what?
We'll switch. We can switch.
I spent a lot of time on these.
I know what
they are. I tried to first tried to go with alliteration, and I had them, and then Micah showed up wearing a turkey hat, and that threw that all off. And each of these is individually picked, not based on whether you would enjoy it, because it represents, but who it represents about you as a person. As seen through the lens of madness that is me. Also, I didn't spend that long on this.
All right, well, I will accept it, except that since I am now Canadian, it needs to be craft dinner, because nobody calls it mac and cheese. So Katie. Anyway, I play Brildish, the Dwarven Paladin, and her pronouns and mine are she, her. Brildish's celestial pony, Pony Sindelarant, has the pronouns he, him.
And last, but certainly not least, it's Dan Biscuits Morin.
I'll take it. I was assuming it was going to be rolls, but I'll accept it. I think that's valid. What was the question
biscuits
again?
more.
I like biscuits more too. They're really good.
But as a word, biscuits has a
biscuit.
It's fun.
Like there's
better for podcasting.
Energy to biscuits.
There is a rolls just kind of lies there, right? It just sort of
it literally rolls off the tongue. All right, Dan,
it keeps going. I am playing Castan Onatar's Crucible, Warforged Cleric of the God Onatar. Crucible's pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are he, him. Tony, back to you.
All right, what are we doing? We are in Ravenloft. That is the seat of Strahd's power here in Barovia. That is to say, Big Barovia. After journeying all throughout the land of Barovia, you have come to perhaps the final chapter, the beginning of the end. Ravenloft itself, you had a very awkward, abbreviated brunch with Strahd, and now is he hunting you? Are you hunting him? Unclear, but you are in his house. Specifically, you are in the basement of Ravenloft. You have explored some torture chambers, some jail cells. You freed a werewolf. That's a thing you did, which you are accountable for now. And you have ventured up from the torture chamber into a room next to the kind of weird observation deck for the torture chamber. This room is listed in the adventure book as the Brazier Room. I described it at the end of last session. The major landmark in this room, which hopefully you can see on the map, it is a room with a lot of doors, but it's got this big glowing fire in the middle of it. And there was an inscription that I read to you around this kind of hourglass shaped thing. So there's a wood-framed hourglass, tall and wide as a dwarf, 10 feet above the brazier, suspended by thick iron chains. The sand is stuck in the upper portion, and there are also 2 9-foot tall iron statues of knights on horseback, poised to charge with swords drawn in the alcoves on either side of the brazier. Surely statues are nothing that I have been conditioning you to be afraid of for years. I guess I'll just read the magic writing on the hourglass again to remind you, because it's kind of rhymey, and I think you speculated about what it would do at the end of last session. But just to remind you, written around it is the text: "Cast a stone into the fire. Violet leads to the mountain spire. Orange to the castle's peak. Red if lore is what you seek. Green to where the coffins hide. Indigo to the master's bride. Blue to ancient magic's womb. Yellow to the master's tomb."
I don't think we want to go straight to the master's tomb immediately.
Agreed.
I mean, Brildish does.
We know where Strahd sleeps, and it's not in the tomb, though, isn't it?
You know, you have been given by a prophecy a place you can always find him.
Like his local coffee shop or something.
Like a place, yeah, a place that you could find him.
Every time I come in here, they always know what I want to
Everyone-
drink.
everyone
It's
knows my
always
name.
blood. Ah.
It's me and my couch, basically, is what it is. That's where you can find me.
Strahd does have a tomb somewhere in Ravenloft, which presumably he needs to return to at some point. It's hard to perhaps know where that is, given the whole lack of access to night and day here in the basement of an evil castle. A place you have chosen to go.
Ancient magic's what?
Womb.
That's probably not a dead dragon, huh?
No.
Even though
I
a
think
dragon is
you
ancient.
You have a variety of things that you are looking throughout Ravenloft, including there are some more objects that might help you before your confrontation with Strahd.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you were very interested in finding a dragon skull, which I think you may have been given some kind of reference to, like a trophy room.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Hard
All
to
right.
know where
So
a trophy room
lore
would be in a
seems
castle.
useful.
Hmm.
Lore
Lore
seems
does-
useful.
Mhm.
That might provide more information, or heaven forbid, a map to this place.
A map would be most valuable.
I mean,
So I
lore.
think there
Oh
are.
my god, does the map sing?
No,
Hello,
the map does
I'm a
not.
map.
Dan
I'm
is
the
too
map.
old to get the
Fine,
Dora the
Tony.
Explorer reference that Mike.
I guess so.
Nope. Don't know.
Yep.
But you got it, Tony, so we're all good.
Somehow I got it.
I'm-
and
he's a
I'm
year younger
possibly
than
the
me.
oldest person
Dan, it-
here.
Is that true? Dan is so old in age.
I am older than Dan.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Dan
yes.
acts like an ancient man. I mean, his bones are all brittle.
I'm so sorry, Dan.
You know,
I just want you to know I'm thankful for you.
I am
Thank
Okay,
thankful
but
for you.
is he as ancient as magic's womb?
That back there is my lawn, Tony. And just
yeah,
get
I was
off
gonna
it.
say he owns a house.
That is
He-
true. Okay,
I-
Okay,
I gotta be
yeah.
on Tony's side.
He's
now,
really
sorry.
into folk music. I don't know anything else about old
That's
people.
what?
He shops at Whole Foods.
Writes novels.
Yeah, writes novels.
Is that
Probably
an old
sitting in like a
person
really
thing?
nice chair while he's doing it. I don't know.
likes to wear
probably
blazers.
blazers all the
likes
time.
to wear them.
I like to wear blazers.
I propose that we put it to a vote.
Stan old.
Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you often say it's kind of chilly in here, and then you put on like 3 sweaters? Does that sound like you?
When's the last time you had a
I
bottle
feel
of
seen.
Ensure?
Dan, yeah. I mean, I
It's
don't
cold
know
in my
anything-
house, Tony. What do you want?
Well, my house that I bought.
You guys,
Uh,
I live in. I wear a house coat, and I call it a house coat. I think I still win for oldest. Thank you.
Okay, let's
Look,
go lore.
The point is,
Lore.
Dan is
Agreed.
Dan is 1 year older than me, and I need
And you need this.
and I don't need anything. I just need to hurt people to feel alive. That's why I'm a dungeon master. Help.
Okay, you guys.
Everything's great.
However, my question is, and I think we may have briefly touched on this before, is can we get back right away? Because what if it takes us out of the castle altogether? Because, for example, we have Indigo to the Master's Bride, which I'm assuming is the way Strahd gets all the way across the entire continent over to the Abbey real quick. And then maybe he flies home because he just needs to stretch his wings at that point.
Good point.
Right.
So I don't know where this lore is.
Well, we know some of them are in the castle, so Castle's Peak. The coffins are probably here. The Master's Tomb is probably here.
Yeah, what mountain?
Magic's Womb, maybe?
Yeah, I was wondering about the mountain.
So perhaps we limit it to just the places that we believe to be inside the castle. I had assumed that the lore would be in a library, but it could also be to the Vistani camp.
Or Baba Lysaga. Like, maybe
That's
she
true.
knew stuff. Past tense, haha.
So I will here. Here's what I'll offer for you. I'm freestyling on this peek behind the scenes. I think I can decide how this thing works, regardless of how the adventure is written. So, as you'll remember, there are stones around the rim of the brazier, matching the colors described in the kind of rhyme. You could toss a stone into the brazier and see what kind of portal opened up, and look through that portal.
I like this idea.
Oh, that's
peek
true.
our heads
Wait,
through.
do we think that like does one just reappear, or maybe it doesn't burn? It just
I assume
sort of
it's more.
sits?
I would assume there's no reason to have a thing that you can only use once, right?
Yeah,
There must
and
be a way to
probably
reuse
like,
it.
does somebody have a mage hand? Because like
Maybe it's like Pez.
pull it out.
There are just a
Yeah,
bunch
there's just
stacked,
more
some
underneath.
spring
Ooh.
mechanism.
I love the idea of magic Pez.
Magic
Crucible
Pez.
is perfectly willing to try picking up a stone and throwing it in.
All right, what color you want to start with?
Which color?
Start with lore.
Yeah, let's do that. Red.
All right. The kind of swirling portal appears. The fire turns red. The grains in the hourglass glow. You get the sense that you would kind of touch the hourglass to be pulled through this portal. Crucible, it's kind of like it yearns for it. And you see an image of a study, and it looks, just based on, you get the sense that probably it's in Ravenloft. Stonework, fancy furniture, and accoutrements. So it looks.
There haven't been any
somewhere.
other castles that we have come across.
Yeah,
anywhere.
it looks
Not a lot
it
of big
looks
buildings,
nice.
even, right? The Abbey. The Abbey was the only other thing.
Yeah, if it was not Ravenloft, it's like, and you've been to you've looted most of the nicer structures in Barovia. I was like, you've been to all the various Burgermeister's homes.
It's not a windmill. Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, Lena's like, this is definitely in the castle.
People want to go through? I say we
let's
go through.
do it.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. So you said touch
Everybody
the
hold
hourglass?
hands.
Yes, we all hold
Yes,
hands.
we hold hands.
Again.
I think we should hold
Or
hands with
hooves.
all of our or
tentacles.
All right.
Or, yeah.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna do this?
Yeah.
What's happening? I figured you would, throw some other rocks just to see
Nope.
where those go.
Jump in. Jump
All right.
in.
We crave knowledge.
In theory,
We
we know
crave
where this
knowledge.
is, so if it's in the castle, we might be able to get back to it without dying too many times. That's just the logic that's happening in Brildish's mind right now.
We'll roll with the punches.
Yeah, we just go down to the basement, wade through the trapped water that's full of zombies.
Simple.
Zombie water. Refreshing.
Also, Tony, you were razzing us for freeing a werewolf. I believe the record will show that the werewolf was hot.
Yeah, the record,
The record
will show
absolutely shows
That's
that.
right.
will show.
Yeah.
Certainly
Yeah.
the YouTube
Um,
version of the record shows that. I mean, you just have to take our word for it if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast.
Just use
Bear
our
with me.
I
imagination.
think they can tell.
Yeah.
We made it clear, I think.
that. By our reactions.
hmm It's
That's
true.
acting, you know.
Actually,
You can tell if the werewolf's hot.
I wasn't acting. I really thought he was hot.
Real. It's a real cinema verite situation happening.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally ready for this. Da, da, da.
Oh no, did you think that we would spend the entire session bickering?
He does. He knows us. So
Most of the time you can count on that. That's the
It's the fact
I
that it's an
just
American
assumed-
holiday
I
week. We're really just excited to go.
I assumed he had prepared a list of the places, like in order of most likely we're going to go there, and like knowledge. These idiots never want to do that.
Tossing the red stone into the brazier causes its flame to change from white to the color red. The sands begin to fall from the hourglass. Crucible reaches out and touches the hourglass and feels himself being kind of sucked into the portal.
Along with the rest of us,
inside
because
the
we're all
flame.
holding hands.
Each of you, you hold hands, including Argal joins in at the very end. And
He's holding on to Pony's tail.
yeah, Pony's tail.
Yes.
And I believe I have now set things up appropriately. In Roll20, you are pulled through the portal and kind of tumble onto the floor of a rather ornately how do you appointed? Do you appoint a
Sure.
study?
Yep.
Yep, that's a good word.
Thanks.
It's
words.
well appointed.
A well-appointed study. Allow me to read the description of this room. You're now in the room, so you can really see it, whereas before you were just seeing kind of a snapshot of it. And this does seem like this is almost certainly somewhere in Castle Ravenloft, but perhaps you are several stories higher than you were before. There is a blazing hearth filled with fire, rolling waves of red and amber light, giving this study kind of a warm, almost cheery feel. The walls in this room are lined with ancient books and tomes. The leather covers are well oiled and preserved through careful use. It smells like oily books in here. Is what I'm saying. The room is clean and orderly. The stone floor is covered with a thick, luxurious rug. Looking at Dan.
Are there unicorns on it?
In the center of the room is a large, low table, waxed and polished to a mirrored finish. Even the pokers in its stand next to the blazing fireplace is polished. Large, overstuffed divans and couches are arranged around the room. 2 chairs of burgundy-colored wood with padded leather seats and back cushions face the hearth. A huge painting hangs over the mantelpiece and a heavy gilded frame. The rolling firelight illuminates the portrait.
Question.
Portrait of...
Is this the side with the hearth? Because it looks like it just sort of cuts off
I was
abruptly.
trying to figure
where
out if there was
the,
a hearth or a window.
Mm-hmm. There's no
Please
sign
enjoy
of
some.
okay. Okay.
there's some
Brildish is going to, like, first thing, hop off of Pony and examine that hearth.
Things a horse to a study.
Elevor definitely goes and faints on one of the fainting couches and is just sort of kicked back.
Honestly, I love this room and I don't ever want to leave it.
Well, there is one
where we live now.
perhaps downside to this room that kind of
Uh-oh.
puts a bit of a pallor over it. Let me just make a quick handout in Roll20.
Is it the portrait?
Is it the terrible portrait?
It is the terrible portrait, which is, I'm just setting this up in Roll20 right now. It is this portrait because for all of you, so I'm excited that you got here because I commissioned this quite a while ago and it was unclear when I would get to share it with you. There is a
What?
dramatic painting of one Strahd von
It's so good.
Oh my god, I love this so much.
Wow.
Tony, it's so good.
That's
And I'll
not
put-
acting, folks. I'm really excited.
Wow. That's such a good
That's a
piece
great
of
picture.
Oh
art.
my
makes
gosh.
Strahd so hot.
Yeah, I know.
I want it in
We-
a heavy wooden frame above my own
Yes,
mantelpiece.
There were some
Yeah.
emails about what exact hotness we were needed here in our
Let
in
me
our
just
vampire
say, you
lore.
threaded that needle.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Very,
So,
right.
well,
very
that's,
conflicted.
And
It's true.
Yeah.
I will upload a high quality version of that into Slack for people.
Oh yeah, I should download that so I can put it in our show notes to make sure everybody gets to see it in this episode.
Yes.
Future me, do that.
Really
Oh.
good.
I don't know what I'm doing, so I just sent that to the Incomparable members Slack instead of our Slack.
That's all right. They'll be
Whoops.
thrilled.
Yes.
So there you go.
Become an
everybody.
incomparable member so you can get really, really early previews.
Mhm. Hashtag
true.
teaser.
All right. So that image is there. It is an image of Strahd himself, kind of standing in the woods with perhaps Castle Ravenloft in the background, illuminated by moonlight. Moonlight that is much too bright for what you see in the dreary nights of Ravenloft. Strahd is clutching a sword. He's got his one other hand in a fist. He's wearing a kind of a cape with a crimson lining and kind of, I guess, staring at the painter with kind of a steely expression on his pale face.
I mean, that's a very sort of toned down way of describing it. I mean, it could have sort of
Intensify, like,
I feel like it pans
here.
back to the entire party who are all just sitting there like,
Yeah,
Are
I thought
we
this
the
would
bad
make me
guys?
like the study less, but
Yeah.
weirdly,
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyway,
So about
Anyway,
this place.
again, I love this room. I never want to leave.
You did say that even before we knew.
Totally did.
Does anybody else notice the eyes follow you, or
Yeah. Just don't walk
I
around.
do perception to see if the eyes follow us?
That's actually a great
please do.
idea.
I also want to do perception just on this hearth, the stonework. Is there something behind it, hiding behind the fire? Where does the chimney go?
We should note
variety
that
of things to explore in
artwork
here.
was clearly made by the same artist who made our incredible
Yes.
Indeed.
characters.
I would assume so. Yeah, it looks great.
yes. This art of Strahd is by Elizabeth Fijalkowski, who also did our character art, who does like lots of other amazing art.
Thank you,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Thank you
Great
so
Doctor
much.
Who
Yes,
art
so good.
too. Mhm.
And is, if you're looking to get art commissioned, is a delight to work with. So,
Hot Strahd. Hashtag Hot Strahd.
Hashtag
yeah, I will tell you, now that I've had D&D art commissioned, it is like the best thing ever, and it's like I want to do this all the time.
I know.
I know. Anytime I've gotten art commissioned for something,
it's a very dangerous drug.
can I
to-
pay you more?
Yes. yeah.
Slippery slope.
So, hot shot aside, you are in the study. Let's see. Broldish wanted to look at the fireplace. Somebody else wanted to look at the painting. There might be other things you want to look at. There are also,
Yeah, this
I'm
is
not
just
sure
a
if you
start
can tell on the map, but there are many doorways off of this study. Seems like you might be. There's no windows, so you're probably somewhere kind of central inside the
Nestled.
the castle. But there are two doors on the north, two sets of doors on the north side, double doors to the west, and a kind of small door to the south. The hearth takes up most of the eastern wall of this chamber. Let me now deal with the perception checks. Lena, tell me about yours.
So, despite having advantage, I only rolled a 16.
16. The eyes do seem to follow you. It's unclear if that is magical or just the art of painting. Broldish, you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I was looking at the hearth, and my amazing perception check is a 6. I think because I'm distracted by Hot Strahd.
fire hot, almost hot as
Uh,
Strahd.
But is there anything obvious about the fireplace? I guess is what I'm asking.
It's
Does it have
hearty
a-
heart.
You know,
A clear back.
it is very deep.
Are there any like stones or like I just want to throw something at the back and make sure that there's a wall and there's not like a.
Yeah, there's a stone wall there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It is very deep, and
Mhm.
yeah, but
You
yeah.
mentioned? Did you mention tools next to the fireplace? Like
yeah, there's a poker.
just a poker. That's it. That's weird.
Maybe I don't know enough about fireplaces.
Usually,
Let's
usually
definitely
there's
spend some
at
time
least
on that.
Usually there are like 4 things.
It's like
There's
a
a
little
little
broom.
shovel. There's a poker. There's a broom and a rake. Like those are the 4
I
things.
don't know.
Usually.
And maybe
I used to have
this
a
fire
fireplace.
We didn't have a
You know,
rake when I was
remember
growing up, so we didn't have
Strahd
a rake.
is an accomplished magic user. This fire may be magical in origins.
Okay,
as
well,
it is very
I guess-
large and burning brightly, despite
What is-
I'm gonna
not
use-
looking. There's
I'm gonna use that
You have
poker
logs?
Yeah,
and
they're
poke
logs.
around.
there's no logs here.
I'm gonna poke around and
Souls,
see if
Dan,
there's
souls.
anything hiding in the fire. Drag it out if there is. I'm just so
What are you
while
doing?
everybody's doing
You're
other
sticking
things.
your hand into the fire.
No, the poker. I said I'm taking the
Oh.
poker and I'm just sort of
Well,
like,
as you lift up the poker,
oh boy.
there is the sound of stone
Lady Gaga's poker
grinding
face.
on stone, and the back wall of the fireplace kind of slides away.
This is a terrible secret passage where there's one tool and it's the tool you need to manage the fire.
Except that you don't because there's no logs or anything. But okay, guys.
Still.
Once we're done looking around in here, let's go that way.
Is the fire
good?
Is the fire hot, by the way? Like, is it if you put your hand up, do you feel heat? Or is it an illusion?
Oh, it feels hot, quite
Okay,
hot,
okay.
warm from where you are.
Do any of you have cantrips that can extinguish flame?
I have a dispel magic, which might work. It's not a cantrip, but it might do the job.
I can
see.
create a bonfire, but that doesn't help us.
Make your bonfire.
What
Take
if-
out
what
that
if-
bonfire.
That is
Whoa,
not
whoa,
the problem
whoa.
that we have.
I can make
Whoa,
one.
Elevor, just cast that spell backward.
Oh, you're right. Hold on. It didn't work.
I have protection from energy, which I can use for fire, but that only works on one person. So that's not super
I
helpful.
have
And
the
it's a
same.
third level spell.
Ooh, I can snuff out a small campfire.
Maybe you could do like the side of it and we could run around.
Let me
Let me try the
yeah.
dispel magic, unless anybody.
Mine's a
has some-
cantrip, so if you
Let's-
want, we want
Okay,
to try
fine.
mine
Go-
first, and
go
then
ahead.
we'll. Yeah.
But before
What
we
was
do
yours?
that, we should
What's yours?
finish looking around in this room, and then just because like if it's hard to get through, we don't want to have to try to come back.
Oh, Elevor definitely wants to check underneath all the cushions of the sofa. He sort
Of
of
course he
lazily gets up from having fainted and starts.
It's a
checking
fainting
underneath the
couch. It's
cushions.
almost a bed.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
the next
All right,
best thing.
Elevor, you start checking all the cushions. There's just disappointingly nothing underneath them. No, there's
Not
no,
even loose
no even
change?
spare change with Strahd's face on them.
Tony,
Drat.
can Crucible do a quick survey of I don't know, a bookshelf?
Yeah, there's lots of books
Yeah,
here.
I think I'll have to start with one. How about this one?
All right.
over by the.
No, all four or
Wait,
9,
no.
however many there are.
There is over 1,000 unique tomes in here. Crucible. This is an impressive personal collection. This collection.
Oh no,
were you
we're never
just in the
getting them out of
book-stealing
here.
Business would be tens of thousands of gold pieces worth of books. Roll me a d12, Crucible, and I'll tell you what section you have wandered over to.
Okay, and I rolled a 24 in perception, if that matters at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I rolled a 3 on my d12.
All right, you go over and pull a particularly interesting looking book off the shelf. It seems to be the biography of an ancient queen telling about her rise to power and how she united warring tribes and ruled over her kingdom for decades, leading them into prosperity under her iron rule.
It's called Lean In.
Sick burn, Sandberg. Yeah, Crucible will. I don't know, in my head, as he opens up a little compartment in his chest, and puts it in.
Is
It's
that
like a
compartment
tiny
sized for
library,
one
like a
book?
They've got,
library.
Yeah.
they've got
gosh.
a little library
You open
in their
Yeah.
chest.
It's a little free
Does anyone
library.
else want to roll a d12
I
and grab a
do.
book off the shelves?
Yes.
Some of these
Everybody
topics
roll a
are
D12.
annoying.
12.
All right. Well, perhaps this speaks well to you, Brilges. You find a theological text. There is a lot of notes in the margin that are kind of very disparaging. You think they might be in Strahd's handwriting.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep this.
That's
Worst.
I've been studying for the cleric exam my entire life, and I
Mhm.
feel like maybe
Yep.
this will help me. I'm gonna ignore the notes.
Yeah, the C exam's got it.
He's just subtweeting.
Yeah.
I rolled an 11.
11. Elevor, you find an anthology of poetry.
Darn
Aw.
it.
Oh,
No, that
Sorry.
seems very
No, I
Elevor to
love
me.
it. Elevor, well, okay, if it's nature poetry, sure. But if it's like bloviating navel gazing,
Nasal gazing? Somehow, is nasal gazing, nasal gazing worse or better than navel gazing?
Nasal
Oh,
gazing
worse.
is impressive because it typically requires like a crab sort of creature that can actually nasal gaze.
Or a mirror,
Or
which
a mirror.
Strahd can't use.
Exactly. So very impressive. But if it's navel gazy poetry, then Elevor rolls his eyes because that's the whole point. Is like he's old enough now that he doesn't take himself too seriously because it's just like, why do people need to take themselves seriously? It's silly. So he'd be like, these youngins haven't learned yet. Anyway, I guess he's gonna take the book and throw it into the fire.
Wow. I rolled a 5.
Wow.
Me
We're people
too.
that burn books, are we now?
Hey,
Both
it's a
of our
dead tree.
hands
He's
reach
already-
out and graze each other as we pull the same book.
The same book.
Oh, okay.
Jane, you're gonna love this. Book
Horses?
5, book on heraldry.
Oh, yes.
Sweet.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I look at Lena and I'm like, I think that this is more appropriate for you than for me.
Has anyone not gotten a
Does
chance at
Strahd have a
book?
crest?
Yeah, I believe we've seen it. Oh god, this is the kind of thing I should get correctly. I thought he...
3 bats rampant on a field.
No.
Boy,
Lena
Tony,
isn't that interested, so
I spent a
we can
lot of
just
time
assume
learning
that she looks that up.
Heraldry
Jane, do you
lingo
wanna
for
roll
that
for Aragal?
inconceivable introduction, Tony.
Aragal should get a book.
Oh yes,
Oh,
Aragal
absolutely.
sees everybody else getting a book, and he also wants a book.
All right, hold on. The book says that there is a crest on page 239, so I'm going to page 239.
Page 239.
Oh God,
The
Sorry, I
crest
just
page
did this wrong and rolled
next to the
4.
Colgate page.
Damn it, Micah.
Say
You
something
took
about
it
toothpaste.
literally right in front of me.
I saw you going to the microphone. I was like, I have to say it.
Aragal has a 7.
Argal's taking books now.
Yes. A book on sidekicks.
Aragal didn't want to feel
He
left
wants
out.
to be one of the teams so bad.
How to murder your vampire lord.
he just pockets it.
The third one is profit.
Doesn't realize.
This is handy.
All right. That is the Strahd family crest there that I've
All
shown
right,
you.
You're okay.
It
Okay,
It could use some
Strahd.
work.
You have
Wow.
this is something Strahd doodled in the margins of his notebook in high
You
school.
think-
It does look like
There's like a
Screamo
griffin
band.
with like wings spread against like the
I
castle.
will say, I think the idea is something a 13-year-old goth would do, but the execution of it is above that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is-
Lena's
so the-
gonna
the
look
gra-
it up. Like, what could it mean?
I mean, I think that to describe this, help me out, people, because I don't know if I'm really getting this
Oh,
right.
I just closed it.
There is like a griffin-looking creature.
Yeah.
It's
With
some kind of
huge
bird
wings.
monster, really wings spread, and then I guess it's on your kind of traditional heraldry shield.
But the shield
Inside the
is
shield.
very narrow,
very
and the
narrow,
wings go
yeah.
way out,
Yeah, that's
outside.
Wings
not-
go way
that's not-
out.
it's not quite
It's
right.
kind of this looks kind of like something like a trashy back tattoo of,
Yes.
of crests. Yeah. On the shield is also the shield has kind of a gothic motif to it, and there is that's definitely the spires of Castle Ravenloft in silhouette on the shield itself.
There's like
Ravenloft is
ghostly
distinctive for its
tendrils or something
Oh,
around
yeah.
it too. I don't know.
And
They
a
almost
skull
look like-
at the bottom? Is it like a skull? It looks
Yeah,
skullish.
maybe it's kind of
Oh,
hard to tell.
yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
small.
And some fancy ribbons sort of hanging.
yeah, and then there's a
off of-
ribbon because
kinda
it's not legally
Mhm.
not legally a crest if there's not some kind of ribbon motif on it.
Mhm.
The spires of Ravenloft are, I mean, I guess you've been kind of seeing them on the horizon for many days now, but they are distinctive as a castle. For it has these 2 very tall towers, one that's got your kind of flat battlements peak, and the other one that's slightly taller that has your kind of more, I would call Tony Sindelar, student of archaeology, a wizard tower, which is to say it's got your
Architecture.
your pointy
That too.
pointy peak. So anyway, that's the
All right.
Strahd family crest. Let's see if there's anything else you can ask me today that I'm unprepared for that I will look up.
Aragal rolled a 7.
Mhm.
Well, dang it.
If anyone glances at the heraldry book after Lena puts it down, she has opened it and looked at the heraldry for House Lena, which is a red bird holding a snowdrop flower.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh. Someone came prepared with the crest.
7
Brildish
is
probably
an epic,
did. She probably
an
like.
epic novel. He found
Ooh.
so Aragal found the very slim fiction session.
I like the idea that
man.
he's just like,
Just-
I'm just going to sit here and read for a while.
All right, guys. Anyone airport literature that is also about vampires?
Yeah.
Oh, and rice.
He found the YA and he's like engrossed.
Clear and present anger. No, that's not great.
Clear and present vampire.
Vampire.
Oh man, that is the Tom Clancy and Rice crossover I've been waiting for.
Yeah. So this is the study. There are many more books just glancing around.
Lore.
You know,
I thought we were supposed to. Oh, I guess it could be behind the fire.
Well, I mean, these all
Yeah,
have
the
lore.
books.
True.
Where do you expect
Yeah.
to find lore?
did you
I
have
just
a
meant-
specific
sorry.
thing that you
Did
were
you want it
like,
in
I'm sorry,
podcast
study?
form, Micah?
the lore I was hoping for was useful lore
Oh.
If there's anything about the building of the castle,
or valor.
I think that would be something that would
Does
interest
not.
us.
There is no. It does not seem like there is anything like that.
Is there a
There's no
section
Maps?
labeled useful
Maps.
books?
Yeah.
No. All the other books are bad.
There's no atlas
Um,
or
all right.
dictionary or.
Let's go through this
thesaurus.
fireplace.
Wait, before we
Come
go
on.
through the fireplace,
Let's look under the
Elevor wants
table.
to try to peek behind the painting on the wall.
Mm.
Okay.
See if there's anything back there.
Tony now brings us.
check
He has
or-
commissioned. He has commissioned a portrait of the back of Strahd.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, tell me more.
I don't think that's how paintings work yet.
That's how
I don't
they
know.
should work.
I don't know
It is
anything
for
about
one
art.
sheets for movie posters,
Yeah.
right? No, not quite.
Behind the painting, Elevor, you reach out with your right hand and flip over the painting.
Very specific.
Behind
Which
it
hand?
is wood paneling for
Ooh.
this study.
And nothing like in the wall or a hole
Nothing.
in the wall.
Nothing in the wall.
Very well. Okay,
So there's a secret room behind the fireplace. How much else
Yeah,
is there
let's
going
go
to be in
through
here?
that.
let's do it. Just trying to be thorough.
All right.
All right. So, Elevor, are you
Oh,
going
yeah,
to attempt your
Try the
cantrip?
cantrip.
I sneeze, and at the same time, I crast? No, I don't. I cast Druid Craft, which says you instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. Does
I will allow that to work here. So you put out the fire. There's still, it's hot, but you can see that there is beyond the fire. There's a doorway has been opened into. It looks kind of just like a dark closet or very small stone chamber beyond that. I've shown it to you on the map, but not described it to you yet. So
Well, let's
which
get in there.
means we're gonna walk in, and then there's gonna be
All
something
right.
evil.
I can
I will
go
tell
first
you,
if you want.
it looks like it would be hard to fit all of you, especially with all your gosh dang pets, into that chamber at the same time.
I feel like
this
Crucible
is-
or Brildish should go
Yeah,
first.
I'm stepping, or Elevor stepping out of the way. He's like, I did the fire part.
Crucible
I'll
will
draw-
happily stride in.
Yeah, I'll draw my longbow and have it ready. Have an arrow knocked in case.
All right, why don't
Maybe
you
the
arrange?
rogue, unless there are any locks or things.
Why don't you arrange your tokens accordingly?
Oh boy.
I will cast the light cantrip on the end of my spear.
All right. If Crucible will go through, then I'm going to stay on this side just in case something happens here.
Oh yeah, something could close or shut.
Does Pony want to be right where he is, or does he want to be back further?
Actually, I'm going to hop back up on Pony. Is this tall? Can I see into the fireplace from the top of Pony, or?
I feel like it's probably not that tall, based
Okay.
on my knowledge.
All right, then
my
I will-
limited knowledge
All right.
of fireplaces.
Then yeah, Pony will.
Well, castles can have like really grand fireplaces.
It's true.
This is like a medium fireplace.
Okay.
Let me explain. It is a fireplace that contains a fire that was comparable to a small campfire. Otherwise, Mike is spelled.
It's a cozy fireplace
Yeah.
for a castle.
Yes. Well, it's the study. It's not the grand hall.
It's
All right.
cozy for a castle.
Who is leading the way? I will describe what you see inside this dark hole.
I think Crucible.
Crucible?
Crucible?
Yep.
Crucible, you poke your head in to this room. This room seems like it's still kind of filled with smoke from the fire that would have kind of leached in here. It's kind of a dark little rectangular room. There is prominently in this room a closed chest surrounded by piles of gold, silver, and copper coins. The chest is rather fancy. It's got very ornate fittings and clawed feet, keeping it slightly elevated above the ground. Attached to the east wall are two torch sconces. Sconces is a fun D&D word to say. The southernmost one holds a torch with an intricate metal base. The other is empty. As always, D&D room descriptions really bury the lead. In the middle of the floor, a skeleton in broken plate armor lies against the wall. The skeleton's right hand is on its throat, and its left hand holds a ornate torch.
Does the
That's
torch?
not
In this
ominous.
case, the torch is like a metal. All right, people can help me if I'm wrong here. I imagine the torch is it's not lit, and it is, so it's the the part. The ice cream cone of the torch. if you
Yeah.
will.
yeah.
Got it.
Uh,
Yep, the
So,
cone.
and-
so
in this
CSI
case, it's
Barovia, it
Mhm.
seems like this poor adventurer potentially picked up a torch
The wrong torch.
and got the slice.
So, Tony, does the torch the skeleton is holding match the torches in the sconce?
It sure does.
All right.
Oh, we needed someone with mage hand.
Look around for traps.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll perception in here, and I got a rather paltry 13.
You're rolling 13 to do what?
To look around and see if I can understand what the relationship with the torch the guy's holding to the torches on the wall.
It's complicated.
Did he pick one
Well,
up? Did he?
There are 2 sconces. One's got a torch in it. One doesn't. There is a torch in the hands of the skeleton.
And,
There were
and
just
the-
2? Why did I think there were more?
Yeah, and the skeleton
Yeah.
you said is holding its throat with its other hand.
Yeah.
Like
So
gas.
either he slit
Yeah,
his own
that's what I
throat
was
and was
thinking.
like, or some magic overtook him and he actually choked himself with one
I
hand.
think, well, or he
Or
was
her.
trying
Or-
to gasp for breath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like gas
Um,
filled the chamber or something.
So
Yeah.
with my rogue
Carbon
trap
monoxide.
finding eyes, I have a 29 to try and inspect the walls for either gas or arrow slits or
Ooh.
various deadly
Traps.
accessories.
All right.
Blade holes.
Looking around, Lena, what number was that? It was very high.
29.
Woo!
29. Lena,
Spicy.
you scan the room with Batman efficiency. You notice there is a telltale, well, for a rogue. Not these other,
Chumps.
yokels didn't see it. There's clearly a seam on the eastern wall of this strange chamber, suggesting, and it's right next to an empty sconce. So clearly, there's some kind of secret passageway on the eastern wall of this chamber. But you also look around because there's a corpse here. Well, I don't know. When does a skeleton cease to be a corpse and just become a skeleton?
Might lose its flesh, probably.
There's no flesh, so
Yes, full
been
on.
here for quite some time.
We've done it.
There are no dart holes or pendulum blade slicey things or anything like that. I'm just gonna say that I feel like your finely tuned rogue senses kind of focus in on the chest as possibly being, the main architectural feature of this room and possible source of
Death.
badness.
Shall we investigate the chest, or maybe I was perception
Dispel
arcana?
traps.
Just ignore it.
Yeah. So I think there's another chamber.
Hmm. So
There's
this
like
is
an-
like a dummy treasure chamber.
So
Mm.
I think I would prefer the chest looks trapped. I mean, the story feels like adventurer comes in, sees a treasure chest, needs light to inspect it, grabs the sconce, touches the chest. Something
Dies.
bad happens.
Yeah.
Throat wise.
Yeah.
But if there's a,
Throatial region.
it doesn't seem as though them removing that torch is what opens the other door, else
That's
they
true.
would not be here. So the
That's
question is, did they pick the wrong torch, or is there some other trigger for this that we are
Trade
not
them or
seeing?
something.
I
like
can
that.
inspect the chest, but if the trap is magical, me inspecting the chest might be enough to set off the trap, which I do not want to do.
Can you
I-
more closely inspect the slit in the wall to see if there's some sort of, could we wedge it open potentially? Is there?
Yeah, I can take a look at that. Or Crucible, I know that you have well, I guess this isn't a ruin. Is your feature
How many skeletons
for
are needed to make it
ruins
a
or
ruin?
for all architecture?
Specifically says,
I mean, I feel like you'd actually be better at a building that's not a ruin.
I mean, my specific text says when you enter a ruin or dungeon, you can correctly ascertain its purpose and determine its builders, whether those were dwarves, elves, humans, UNT, or some other known race. In addition, you can determine the monetary value of art objects more than a century old.
You know what, Dan? I feel like we never give you anything for that ability, even though I think that ability is very cool.
I'm a freaking archaeologist, man.
Well, and I'm reminded of I had in the old days when I was but a simple player of the Dungeons and Dragons, and I had just an adorable halfling rogue that I leveled up to like level 18, and his best skill was dungeoneering. Did dungeoneering ever come up? Almost never. And this is the dungeoneering of 5th edition. I think you mentioned something, Dan, or someone else mentioned, and I think it kind of lights something up in Crucible's brain. There's a lot about this room that kind of twigs that idea of perhaps a a false
burial chamber type thing,
or maybe even a thing that might be put in place to lead grave robbers to think they found the treasure when the true treasure is somewhere beyond. So though this is just a simple secret room behind a fireplace in a study somewhere in the halls of Castle Ravenloft, you are reminded of some ancient tombs.
How many secret rooms deep are we?
2.
But I mean, we got to the study by a teleportation circle. We don't even know if those doors go anywhere.
So I guess it's like Lena looks around, sees this seam, kind of points it out, and Crucible is like, I suspect there's another chamber beyond.
Indeed. Perhaps we just need to
But
figure
something
out
killed an adventure in this chamber.
Yes, we simply need to figure out how to trigger the door. The question is whether the torch or the chest led to their demise.
So, do we want to pick up the other torch?
Oh, interesting idea. So, I might
just gonna check where's everybody's tokens as we do.
I am where I am.
So, if it is a air-related thing, Crucible doesn't breathe. So perhaps we could have you step out of the room. Crucible will attempt to pick up the torch. Crucible will pick up the torch, and fingers crossed.
But we'll maintain line of sight.
Yes.
So that we can cop a nice healing word if we needs it.
So you believe line of sight but not breathing? How does that...
I'm ready to grab the wall if it starts coming down to try to grab it. And
though this has not directly come up, Tony, when I created this character under personality traits, I just happened to notice that the number one is I love a good puzzle or mystery. So
yeah, well, remember that guy? Remember that old carefree Crucible who opened every bag?
Yeah, it's true.
We call this growth. So it sounds like you've got a plan, which is that Crucible is perhaps the least vulnerable to the type of attack you think might be happening here. So other people are going to back off to some degree. Broldish is positioned by the door. Other people are back in the study.
Is poised to do another kill that fire if the fire restarts.
Yeah. Argal is searching the study for the portal back to the basement.
The wall, I can't remember what you said when I moved the poker. Did the wall drop? Did it lift? I'm just trying to figure out.
Which way do you want it to be, Broldish?
It doesn't really matter. I think you said it
slowly
lifted up.
Side to side.
Yes.
Yes. Slowly side to side is good.
It shimmies.
Yes.
Swings open. I don't know.
PowerPoint transition.
Star wipe.
Barn doors. Yeah.
Star wipes away.
Iris
Absolutely.
is open.
Yes.
Playing with the poker, you see that you could easily control the closing and opening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Strahd loves his keynote.
Okay.
So, Broldish, are you standing by the poker to control the opening and closing of this, or by the opening that the poker opens and closes?
I'm standing by the opening just because I'm concerned that there might be some sort of timing mechanism on the poker. So I will, try to hold it, or shove the magic axe in the way so it can't close all the way down. That's my rudimentary plan.
All right. The other people have backed well off. Crucible, you are standing in the room. Broldish is kind of around the door frame from you.
Yep, let's
only
hope the
about
fire
10 feet away. Imra, Elevor, Lena, a good 20 feet back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Pony, 180 feet away.
Yeah, Pony's going to hang out with Argal.
Yeah. Pony exploring
Argal's
tax
reading
options
the young adult novel and just
Did I mention
Giving us so many tips?
There's a section in the middle that's just all manga, and
Yeah.
So.
He's reading it the other way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
really expanding his horizons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Crucible will reach out and will grab the torch that is still in the wall.
Okay, you lift the torch out of the sconce. It's metal. It's ornate. Nothing happens.
Crucible will attempt to light it.
Okay. It lights.
Okay. I will. All right. Nothing happening so far. Examine the sconce and see if there's anything happening there. I got a 12 on perception.
So right now there's 2 empty sconces because you're holding a torch.
So there's like
a skeleton has a torch,
but like where the whatever was attached to the wall.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a metal
bracket or something,
right?
Yeah. Anything happen with that? Is it movable at all?
Nope.
Up, down, left, right?
Doesn't seem like it.
BA, select start.
Reference
Reference
acknowledged.
acknowledged.
How's
like
it
a
going in
two-player.
there, Crucible?
Oh, fine.
Maybe we need to put the other torch into the other bracket.
Flip them around.
That's an idea. Hearing Elevor suggest that, Crucible will pick up both torches and put them both in the sconces.
All right. That by doing that, you have no idea what does anything. Great job at running a controlled experiment. As you do that,
Not a scientist.
Isn't an archaeologist a kind of scientist?
Social scientist.
Wow, we are gonna get mail. The wall where Lena had observed a seam swings inward toward you, Crucible, revealing a large cobwebbed passage beyond.
This is not getting better. It's just getting worse.
I'm just going to tell you, every level of Castle Ravenloft has geography and architecture that is banana pants. And you are gonna I think every level has something where you, if you find it, you will be like, why is this way? Who would do this?
It's like,
How
let me
does
tell you,
someone live
Weird
here?
vampire.
Tony,
straw.
I know that you haven't looked at a lot of houses in the real estate market or homes, but this is what you learn
Yeah.
in New England. Every house in New England has something weird that makes no sense. You're like, why is it
Dan.
like this?
Strahd had this built. He's the original owner.
Yes,
And
I'll
he's
have
a
the
weird
cobweb
guy.
Room
It's been
behind
a
the-
1,000 years though, right?
Do you know how little construction
adding
is
on.
allowed in Barovia?
Needs
So-
change over time.
I'm just saying he doesn't even have he doesn't have a Winchester Mystery House thing that he can claim because he's the guy.
Strahd Mystery House.
haunting-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um,
Okay,
I'm just
can I
just
question
saying,
over
if
the top
I
of the
if I throw a
blueprints.
torch into this room, a lit torch, is it possible it would just burn all those cobwebs?
Try it.
all of them?
Oh, a lot of them, right? I mean,
If
cobwebs
they're all
are pretty
connected to
flammable.
each other, it would go.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Crucible, I'm gonna tell you two things, or I guess Dan, I will tell you two things.
One, your
Dan, you
character
could-
is dead.
and two.
Two, you're a
Um,
spider now.
we'll always be friends. So the room that you are currently in is known as the False Treasury.
Sure.
The room that you are throwing a torch into is called the Hall of Webs. This
That
ancient
sounds
hall
like a good
is
place to
choked,
throw a torch.
choked with spider webs, broken by a single clear path down its center.
Sure.
It has
Nothing
an
wrong
arched
with
ceiling
that.
20 feet overhead, hidden behind thick webbing. At the eastern end, you can see a pair of bronze doors of ornate design.
Well, Crucible turns around and yells back to the party, well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Yes.
Guys, we're three secret chambers deep now.
Bad news first, please.
There are lots of cobwebs in here. Way too many.
Good
Burn 'em.
news.
Well, there's a secret passage back here. It must go somewhere.
I like the idea of trying to
Yeah.
burn the cobwebs because that
Yep.
is a thing that would work in real life. Maybe these are magic cobwebs that don't burn for some reason, but
I think it's worth a
It's-
shot. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Way
try
to
to
find
light
out.
some of the cobwebs on fire. Just standing in here and just reach out with the torch and try to
If there are spiders in there, they probably would not like that.
That's the
Good.
point.
Yeah, you fail to curry favor with the spiders. I will tell you that the cobwebs do burn rather quickly, briefly, and brightly. There is a lot of them, and you'd really need to kind of go around and kind of
Sweeping.
power wash. Yeah, power wash with fire this
And we
chamber
got
to
a
get all
fireball?
the spider webs a lot.
yeah.
Um,
Elevor.
That's a great use of a level 3 spell.
I could just use the create bonfire cantrip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just toss it in.
Do any spiders skitter out, or
Yeah,
is it
that's
just
a good question.
It does not seem like the spider webbing here is dense enough to hide any spiders.
Oh, then we should just walk through.
Well, I think we should burn it first.
But what if it's all sticky in a trap?
Yeah,
Burn
I
it
There
first.
is there is a clear open path down
All
the
right,
middle of
fine.
spider
Burn
webs.
I don't care. Burn
as
it.
described.
All right,
Elevor?
how about
I'm
this?
sorry, Elevor does burn it as he's going through. That he's not going to leave
I'm
the
sorry, I
cobwebs
pictured
behind.
Strahd somewhere. My vintage cobwebs!
He was
There's no way he
decorating
would
tomorrow's
leave
the
those.
office Christmas party.
I simply do not think that we should cast fireball. If people wish
Yeah.
to individually light it
No.
aflame
How
with
about this?
mundane fire,
How about
that
Not
is
this?
fine.
fireball. Bonfire.
How
which
about
is
this?
mundane
How about
fire.
Elevor and Crucible basically walk like
Together,
side
like-
by side and do each side as they go.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. All right. Whatever it takes to move us past this.
Okay.
That's what we do.
To the door.
Well negotiated, players. All right.
Just annoy the dungeon master until he lets you do whatever you want.
Yes.
It works with Scott, works with me. So just to put a hat on it, we are ignoring the conspicuously the big fancy chest in the false treasury that seems to murder at least one guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Aragol, you can
Those
check
feel
out
like
the test.
I'm sure that Strahd is the type of person who actually would put something cool inside the murder chest. However, it is probably just another axe.
Yeah.
Very true.
And we picked up so much
They're
money.
going to have to carry this for so very long.
We picked up so much money in the basement. It's like the coins don't even interest me at all.
What? I mean, what are we gonna buy?
Also, yeah, you guys sound like
Tomatoes.
just all jangly. Like each of you sounds like a coin jar walking down the hall.
Some of us do not have any coins.
Yeah.
Your pockets are all saggy. So there are ornate, I believe they are brass doors here at the end of the Hall of Webs that are the only obvious exit from this horrible, sticky room.
I will check them for traps.
All right.
I'm watching our rear. I will.
Also, I will say the thing that keeps giving me advantage is that basically if I move half my speed, I have advantage on perception and investigation check.
Jane, because I keep forgetting I should be doing this, I will give you guidance, so feel free to add a d4 to that check, whatever it is.
Lovely.
I should be doing that more. Please remind me.
All right, that is a 26.
All right, you study the whole. I'm going to let you with a 26 study the whole hallway. The doors appear untrapped. They are fancy or ornate with. Well, let's just say we covered it earlier this episode. The Strahd sigil worked into each one. I will tell you because you're so good at spotting secret doorways, Lena. There's totally a secret doorway back on the south wall of this hallway.
I bet she wouldn't have noticed that if we hadn't burned those webs.
That's
Probably
true.
not. It would have been
That's
heavily
true.
obscured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
What?
I'm like looking at the door and I'm like, okay, I figured out this door. And also, you were
That
right to
door.
burn the webs. There's totally a secret door
I'm
back
picturing
there.
Lena's like examining the door, but she's got like a mirror out, and then in the mirror she like glances,
Yes.
looks back, is like, oh,
Yes.
there.
Yes.
You know, what's
I feel
I
like,
just-
you know what? Let's say this is a character thing that when Lena is working on stuff, she like has her blade up so she can like check behind her
Smart.
Oh, I
because
dig that.
she
I
is
think that makes sense.
paranoid.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
normal blades, not the sun
All right.
blades.
So
Okay, do we
All
want
right,
to double
honestly.
back and go to the secret
I
door?
don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
know how many
Yeah.
secret
Yeah.
doors
I
are
would like
beyond
to.
that secret door.
You know,
Yeah.
I almost feel like showing you more secret passageways isn't like punishing you.
I-
we're into
I feel
like
punished.
a 3-act situation here,
Yeah.
where it's like, are they going to find anything rewarding behind that secret door? Will it fulfill them emotionally or psychologically in any way? I know, no, it will not. But they rolled high, and I'm not going to cheat them of that secret door. Do I think they would be better off if they never found this secret door?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
yes,
gonna
I
do 100% completion.
Please,
At least the secret doors.
Yeah.
We'll be done in
I don't-
5 to 7 years.
The map will just be a square image.
I will just point out.
That's
you
just
all
a
didn't
wall.
even
I'm
finish.
going into the wall.
I will be on. I thought you weren't going to do the teleporting thing because I'm like, they're going to insist on mapping the whole basement before they use the teleporting thing. Surely
go back.
they won't get to see this picture of Strahd that I commissioned 3 months ago for like a year. I'll just have this sitting in my folder, burning into my heart.
Listen, we have a laser focus on treats. We love treats.
Yep.
Yes.
True.
All right,
Just like dogs
Lena,
and ponies.
Yep.
Yep.
This door, now that you know it's there, it's really just a simple kind of panel that swings open, and there is a very strange passageway beyond that you are going to find moderately to extremely frustrating.
Okay.
This is a weird room beyond. Let me just check. I think there's an official description.
Weird Room
of it.
Beyond, my favorite D&D website.
It appears to be shoot.
Shoot, yeah,
Yes.
shaft of some kind.
We can get
There's
back
a
to the
tiny.
basement?
There's like basically a ledge, and it overlooks a shaft that plunges into darkness and continues upward. Yeah.
He probably uses this to get around the castle.
I was thinking, or somebody
does look like
falls down from a place above. Like,
it does look like there are some mechanisms built into the walls here.
Is this
such that
a staff elevator?
Did someone call me?
Ooh.
It does seem like this is some kind of. I mean, I don't know how this this works with adventurer brains versus player brains, but this does seem like you found the middle of an old timey elevator shaft.
Well, because we've been to one in Rictavio's tower before,
Sure,
so
yeah.
We
We
know
the
know
what that
idea
is.
of elevators is
sorry, I'm just picturing Straw giving directions when the help comes to like, oh yes, you just go to the study, put out the flames, go to the secret thing, don't touch the treasure, put a thing in the torch wall, go through, don't go down the cobweb, take a right, take the secret door to the shaft, it takes you up. And everyone's like, now man, here's your
quit.
pizza, I'm going
does-
home.
It does seem like, based on the amount of cobwebs, no one else has been here in quite some time. But it's possible that, for example, so there's metal chains kind of in the corners of this dark, cold shaft that look like perhaps they connect to something above or below what you're currently seeing here. And maybe that is how Strahd prefers to arrive at this strange hallway.
I mean, maybe
Sure.
it's like this is the floor that he just doesn't go to very often. It's like that Babylon 5 episode, Grey 17 is missing, where they just program it so the elevator never stops there. And like
I will
all the
tell
other
you-
floors are very well visited. We don't know.
Castle Ravenloft is a very big place with very few occupants. There's a lot of disused stuff.
So does it seem like the machinery, like there were any call buttons or anything that we would use here?
Let me just check. Let's see here.
I feel like tugging on one chain, if there's one in each corner.
They are not
gonna
positioned
be...
in a place that you could like easily
Reaching.
interact with them.
Somebody have
Have
to
like
jump
mage hand.
Whee!
Spider monkey. Spider monkey.
Oh, I guess I could spider climb.
Spider monkey, spider monkey.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily want to burn spells on just investigating
Right,
an
yeah, I
elevator.
I actually don't.
Don't we?
But it is
Sounds like
worthwhile
us.
to
In
have
the
this
shaft.
in our back pocket.
Yeah.
Like if we are being chased, maybe we hop
to the
down
elevator.
Featherfall.
Featherfall down there.
There does not seem to be any mechanism in place suggesting
Okay.
that whatever carriage compartment goes up and down this shaft must have the control mechanisms within it.
Gotcha.
So it is what I've surmised based on this paragraph I read.
Now that we found a chute, shall we go check out the ornate copper doors?
Before we go, I want to, I guess, use like maybe the magic axe, and I just want to make like a mark on the wall, like chisel part of the wall, just in case we find
Yeah.
ourselves
Good
in this
call.
elevator some other time, just to, like that we know.
Broldish
this
was
Broldish
here.
was here. Yep.
Very good.
It's an X,
Done.
but that's what it means.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to tell what floor this is on.
Mhm.
Smart.
You head back down the hallway and cast open the brass doors into another ancient-looking chamber that it does not look like it gets a lot of foot traffic here. This is 2?
Spider Room 2, the sequel.
This is this room. It seems like you're getting closer to the exterior walls of the castle. You can hear rain and thunder from outside, and this room is noticeably cold and damp compared to the other passageways. Certainly, much closer, much more so than the study.
No windows.
There
though?
are veils and curtains of webbing filling this room, making it kind of hard to gauge how deep or wide it is. A single narrow path leads to the dark center of the room, where a rope hangs dangling from somewhere above.
burn everything.
I bet it's not a rope. I bet it's a spider web.
Or it's a bell.
This-
Or a
This is
bell.
the bell tower.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway,
Easily
burn
accessible.
burn some spider webs. It served
Do-
us well here.
Am I familiar with Ravenloft having bells? Like, have I ever heard
The bells of
Bell-
Ravenloft.
Bells. bonging.
Ravenloft.
You have heard the bell
Hark,
bonging.
the bell bonging.
The
the
bells
dark
of
bing bongs?
Yeah, the dark bing
Castle
bongs of
Ravenloft.
Ravenloft ring only rarely And the as a Borovian born and bred, you know that when the bing bongs bing or bong, it is a time of dark tidings in Barovia. It has been many years since you have heard those, but only on the darkest of nights, in the darkest of times, have the bells of Ravenloft bing dead bonged.
Ask not for whom the bing bongs. Bongs for Strahd.
I'm trying to create a very specific Gothic aesthetic.
Who do we think it
Nailed
trolls
it.
more to ring the bell? Does it troll like all of Barovia?
No bongs.
Or
No,
does
we
it troll
can't.
Strahd because it's
Just
at
a
a
bing?
time
What
that's
about what about
different?
just like a little
Like a
bing,
small
a little
bing,
bing?
a
What if
little
you
bing.
just give it like a little like a jaunty?
No,
tone?
I think that's like texting Strahd and saying, "Hey, bud,
We found your bells.
we found your bells.
This is where we are.
Because-
Peace out, bye."
I could totally thunderclap or thunderwave the bell. Just
What?
straight up.
That's unnecessary.
All right, Crucible will wend their way.
It's like firing fireworks at a fire.
It's a bell. It's not that bad.
I'm just saying, there's a rope to activate the bell. You don't need to.
I don't
use
trust
a
the
giant
rope. I'm not pulling on a spider's long web tail.
Everyone
Okay.
is telling you not to do that.
Yes.
So you
Yes,
don't
Dan.
need to worry.
That is the scientific definition of the
Duly
stream of
noted.
web that comes out of a spider's
Elevor, aren't you friend to all animals?
spinneret. Except evil ones.
Oh well,
That's
Yeah,
Wow.
he likes
judgmental.
chill animals, Tony.
yeah. Cool.
Crucible will wend their way up to the rope and raise the spear that's all light cantripped to see what's up there.
What's up?
It does look like there is something. This chamber, it does seem like the ceiling is very high. It's hard to tell through the webbing, but it seems like the idea that this might be a bell tower, or that you are at the base of a bell tower, seems like a reasonable conclusion. Or, if you're fancy, a belfry.
What if we just climb the belt rope? No.
No,
ring
that would
the
make it
bell.
bing and bong.
And you're gonna climb up into the bell?
Oh yeah, that's
Just
the
for
stupidest
fun.
thing I've heard today. It's not like there's a false treasury outside of a belfry,
That is stupid. Why is the belfry hidden
right?
behind a web room, an elevator, and a
Truly,
false-
the architecture of Ravenloft is maddening as Strahd
This is
himself.
like if Lovecraft got really bored.
Maybe ring the bell defeats Strahd.
This terrible geometry of rooms.
What was that, Erica?
you have seen the horrors of non-Euclidean geometry. Now marvel at the horrors of very Euclidean but foolish geometry.
I'm just saying maybe the ringing the bell actually is like the secret way to defeat Strahd, and we're
just
just
ring
going to
it.
turn
That's
around
it.
and
That's it.
walk
That's
away.
it. Ding,
Yeah,
ding
this is
dong,
it. You-
the witch is dead. All right, if we learned anything.
The
We already-
That's
prophecy.
witches,
We already killed the witch.
not vampires.
And we killed
You
the
know,
witches.
Witches,
You
vampires.
do know that there
tomato,
are other
tomato.
witches.
Oh,
There are other witches in Barovia, for they are vying for who will control.
right.
Who will rule?
Elevor
All
does
I'm-
offer
All
to
the
spider
domain.
climb to the top, which would not have to ring the bell because he could climb
Yeah.
the wall to check it out if people want that.
I
but
feel like we didn't come
it's up
all the
to-
way through all these secret rooms to not ring this bell.
that's how Elevor feels too. But he's being very restrained.
does somebody have Featherfall? Is somebody able to cast that spell on all of us? Because if so, I would say, sure, ring the bell, and if we get in trouble, we just jump down the shaft. We're away.
If you fill the room with water, then I can let you walk on it. But I can't.
Does somebody have to create water? and
Drown
then-
us.
So we do also have the entire rest of the floor.
Jane's like,
But I'm
don't
so
ring the
puzzled
bell.
about the bell.
I know.
There were
wanna
like
ring
6
it.
doors off the study, and you guys are like, "No, we're
this
walking
is-
through the fireplace."
We have detected and avoided so many traps. This is another trap. He knows that adventurers will want to ring the bell. And then he'll come and eat you.
I do
will
like
just-
the
I will just
idea.
point, as your friend and also Dungeon Master, so far all you've done is argue about the bell. There may be other things of note in this.
I still, okay, Brildish is still going to say, somebody needs to burn these webs. We need to see what's going on in this room. And
All right.
once that's done,
All
then
right.
I do kind of like the idea of perhaps Elevore spider climbing to see what else, since this is a really high
That is
room. Maybe
fair.
there's a cubby hole that has
That is
some
fair.
important
gotta
information.
be
Some
some-
lore,
Yes.
perhaps.
Crucible
Yes,
and Elevore will
agreed.
start by helping to clear the webs out of the room.
Burn.
Care-
Oh my God, I'm playing Brildish so much smarter than she actually
I was
is.
gonna say Brildish is being the voice of reason
sorry.
right now.
Somebody
Brildish
needs
knows
to.
that if she rings the bell, Lena's looking at her like, "Don't you do it? Don't you do it?"
Elevore was about to call for rock, paper, scissors against Lena to decide if he can ring the bell.
That's
so
right. Brildish
we,
is wise.
You got there just in
So
time.
she has-
You
she has the
can
wisdom
ring
to-
the bell if you want to. Lena won't like it, but
So with the webs cleared, let's do
And-
some perception
Oh,
checks.
did we just skip ahead
Yeah,
to the webs?
we started
being
clearing
cleared?
some webs.
You start clearing some webs, and as you do, you hear from far above in the belfry the sound of kind of scuttling legs, and perhaps in the torchlight glint many red, multifaceted eyes looking down at you in the darkness. Eyes filled with hate and anger because you are burning all of their handcrafted artisanal webs. And as you think, what a great job we have done here today, several giant spiders drop down into the belfry, apparently just around Crucible because nobody else put their token in the chamber.
Oh no.
Not true.
Ready to feast upon whatever bodily
Well,
fluid.
this is
he
a
has
terrible
to offer them.
website.
Oh.
On that note, good night,
How long
everybody.
did you have that one waiting?
10, 20 seconds.
I will
You
point
can
out
stop
these are
adding
5 giant.
tokens now, Tony.
Well, there are 5 giant spiders in the belfry with
Hello.
Crucible and Elevore and others. I will point out you fought giant spiders before. These will be a momentary annoyance you'll deal with next time, but things could have been far worse.
A momentary
Um,
annoyance. Questions. Such as these.
Could they?
Crucible and Elevore, as you are clearing out the fire, I'm also going to tell you, you're going to love this. There's a secret passage to the north.
Oh, Lord help us. all.
I told you we had to burn those webs.
I'm just going to tell you, I think Strahd might be a jerk. When
Always
it comes to
clear the
secret
webs.
passageways.
Hey, if I could build a giant castle, I would put a crap ton of secret doors in
Yeah,
it too.
I would-
so
I
can't
would have
have
to
But
them.
this
No,
many?
I would have
this is
no-
like hat out of
Makes
hat.
No. I would have
Yeah.
no real doors. Just all secret doors.
Dan, when all your doors are secret doors, none of your doors
That's
are secret
true.
That's not true. That is not true at all.
All right. Surely these 5 giant spiders will be no threat to our adventures. But what awaits behind this secret door? Is it yet more secret doors? Doors that will drive them
Yes.
to madness. Doors that will
Short drive.
open something within themselves. What evil awaits them? What horrors? What things that they will be annoyed that they find will be beyond? For answers to questions as such as these, tune in next time to the Duck and Pony Show.